Let's go back to Johnny Shrimp's pond. Johnny Shrimp, surrounded by the best companions within the natural and artificial environments, has successfully overcome several challenges that qualify him as one of the best. To achieve this at Camaco, it has undergone several stages. First, the farm with 265 ponds is a place where shrimp lots are pre-selected to choose the broodstock groups. These groups must fulfill some requirements, such as highest performance when compared to the rest of the shrimp population and excellent phenotypical conditions. The presence of WSSV, IHHNV, and NHP must be negative or must display the lowest infection rates. Finally, groups must have a high level of immunity. Second, once the preselection is done, Johnny Shrimp and the selected groups are transferred to the Camaco area assigned to growth and production. This is the area known as Area 400, where the selected groups will spend between 140 and 160 days under strict quality control filters. Third, groups achieve their final phase at the Gallinaza area, which is composed of 12 concrete tanks of 50 square meters each. Groups go through a rigorous and balanced pre-maturation diet. Fourth, selected shrimp are now candidates to be a part of the new production cycle. At this point, Johnny Shrimp is between 10 months and a year old. However, he has not conquered yet a place in the selection. Fifth, the most rigorous filter now takes place. Next is the maturation unit, where the nested PCR test is applied as a first certification. This is an individual test that certifies by means of a hemolymph test that the shrimp is free of any of the two well-known viruses. At this stage, there is already a first group of breeders to participate in the commercial selection. However, to be a part of the Camaco team, a new classification takes place based on the fertility performance. In the commercial aspect, via natural mating. In the Pure Line program, artificial insemination is used with the best samples of resistant breeders. Those shrimp that pass this last test get a second certification and an immunization analysis. Only virus-free shrimp with a high immunity level will become part of the next shrimp generation and part of Camaco's future. By now, Johnny Shrimp has become a team leader. As a result of all these selections, Camaco has eradicated and decreased infection rates and has obtained commercial lines of shrimp with a global resistance to pathologies. These are the results. In the commercial production, an annual increase of 39% on productivity in a normal cycle in a farm as a result of a combination of survival and growth. Production of uniform shrimp sizes, which allows a true commercial harvest schedule. Increased fertility of broodstock shrimp during the commercial maturation stage. In selected lines at immunitary level, the preliminary results of the first commercial lines, selected at level of immunitary gene using real PCR, it has allowed us to obtain 5% more productivity to the average of the farm. Since our distribution curve of the productive indexes. Those data, with a frequency of 70%, what leads us to have averages of 60% of survival and good yields at global level. The advantage that we possess of having virus-free genetic lines with lower rates of NHP and selected at the immunitary level has allowed us to obtain grow-out productions of up to 6,200 pounds per hectare with densities of 40 shrimp per square meter. That is within the innovation effort, an incursion towards the intensification of the cultivation in our earth ponds. In the consanguineous pure lines, an increase of up to 1,400 times in resistance to white spot, thanks to an experimental infection of post-larva in Generation F5 pure lines compared to Generation F1. The resistance to disease has increased considerably, to the point that at this moment we have enough shrimp survivors and Camaco is already working in obtaining and evaluating hybrid lines of high capability able to offer in next years at commercial level a product of high level. In the scientific aspect, Camaco has demonstrated and published during the development of this project NHP's vertical transmission and has also developed a methodology of disease replication to be able to select lines resistant to this pathology. Camaco is evaluating and selecting shrimp lines capable of resisting low oxygen concentrations, hypoxia. In other words, Camaco is selecting shrimp that have a high production level of the protein hemocyanin. This way, Camaco opens the door to an intensive production and growth, excluding the use of aeration in the ponds. It has been demonstrated experimentally and naturally that the resistance to the white spot disease and the shrimp capacity to resist the infection for a longer period increases the chances of survival at the farm, in some lots, or in families distributed commercially. It has also become evident that in pure lines this happens due to a high concentration of immune genes. These are preliminary results achieved by the Department of Research and Development of the project using real-time PCR. Thanks to the Genetic Improvement Project, the biggest benefits that we are obtaining in the first evaluations of our selected lines at the immunitary level is that it has taken us to investigate in a broader way the three main immunitary genes of the more than 20 genes known to be involved in the global resistance of shrimp to different pathologies. The information that we are gathering about shrimp is innate immunity and the identification and quantification of genes and proteins that have an antibacterial and antiviral function is allowing these lines of shrimp at Camaco to achieve greater resistance to the white spot virus and even to have a better and broader response capacity to face new pathologies that are appearing and continually threaten its cultivation. Thanks to its Genetic Improvement Project, Camaco foresees to obtain shrimp with the capacity to withstand and grow under diverse environmental conditions, and it is working in the development and evaluation of molecular markers, allowing for a better selection of shrimp lines. These results have already been proven by important companies in Panama, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua. Currently, Camaco is expanding its marketing plans to more Latin American countries to generate greater benefits for the important shrimp industry. Be a part of Camaco's Genetic Improvement Program and enjoy next to Johnny Shrimp the trophy that distinguishes him as Champion of Champions. Camaco plans to obtain shrimp resistant to viruses and able to grow under diverse environmental conditions. Camaco is also working in the development and evaluation of molecular markers, making possible to obtain a better selection of shrimp lines.